sometimes with existing conditions you have to be a little investigator, a little somebody to figure it all out, especially that we don't have an attic up there. Okay, there's actually a loft up above there, so there's a floor up above there. So I really don't want to have to start getting into tearing out the sheetrock here, because then I'm going to have to patch and retexture and repaint all that, like I was saying before. Now the funny thing is, usually on a light switch, on a light fixture, you only have one set of wires. So what's up with that? Well, you remember there's a light right above the sink too. Let's get you showing this. You remember right there. Okay, so when I turn the light switch on, those lights go on and that light went on. So my guess is that the light switch went up to there first, and then from there they took power and went over to the light above the sink. So right now if I turn the light switch on, I'm going to say the sink does not go on. And let's just try it and see. Okay, I'm going to turn the light switch on right now. Okay, it's on, nothing's happening. That's because one of those powers, one of those sets of wires, a black and white wire, is hot right now. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back off to make sure. So see, I've got another set of wires. I was hoping I didn't have that, because how I'm going to install this, I've got to put all those wires into a different type of junction box. You'll see that in a minute, but first things first, let's get that box out of there. I'm hoping we can do this. Worst case scenario, if the box, you know, you always have to think about your project. Worst case scenario, what could you do? If that box falls apart, or you can't get through it, or you break it, then you'd have to put a cut-in box up there, and you can do that and fish the wires back in there and do it that way. But this, you see, even if that was a box, a nail-on box, let's say there was a joist right here, it was a nail-on box to it, you've got flanges there. If this was a metal box or something, you'd have a plate over here, and you'd have to cut through that entire thing. It's a little bit different than removing an existing duplex outlet. Remember I've showed you how to cut the nails off with a little hacksaw? Well, this would be a little bit different because of the way that they hook it on. But in our case, it's on that slide. I think we can get it out. Okay, no tricks. I haven't touched this box yet. And you know what? Some people say I talk too much and everything. And I was toying with the idea of not even showing this part, but you know, I think I need to do it. And hopefully when I take this out, you know, my next thing is once I take this out, how am I going to get it back up in there? You know, once I fish another set of wires in there, because see, I'm going to use this as a junction box. If I can do this properly, I can fish my other wire in here and it can go over to the new ceiling fan. That's the whole idea here. And see, that bracket, if I can't refish these wires, these little set screws up in there later, I may have to break down, go to the store, get a cut-in box and break that bracket out of there. You know what I mean? So we'll just have to see. That's going to be tricky. Okay. Yeah, here it comes. Let's see if I can get it. Sure enough, look at that. See, most of the time you're not going to get that lucky. There's your box. It's an old style box. And I'm going to pan it up there. You see that metal thing up there? That's where the screws were onto that. See, that was that bracket thing, and that goes across from joist to joist. And then that's on a little slide. You can slide that wherever you want and then tighten that up. And that's how you can do it. If you have a light fixture, let's say you have a light fixture and you have it in an exact place, and you want to center it in the room or wherever you want to go, instead of putting a 2x4 block up there or nailing it, attaching it to the side of a joist, and you're like, oh shoot, I wish it was over a foot over. Oh well, I'll just have to put it there and tell the people I couldn't have put it in the middle of the room like they wanted, the middle of the sink, whatever. Now you can do it. You get the right type of box an application, and voila.